The price of Bitcoin exploded yesterday, even hitting $58,000. Now, this ascending wedge structure did not turn out being bearish. We mentioned the possibility of creating a double 1-2 and entering into the third wave on yesterday's live stream. I really wanted a little bit more of a corrective move to the downside before speculating on that very good entry. But as we were breaking out above $55,500. This was no zone to speculate on any short positions. Of course, if you want to jump in FOMO into a long position, if you do manage risk, then obviously that is very much acceptable. But this was a zone to not be interested in any shorts. I did get stopped out from that short position. However, I was already in a long position from lower and been adding to the position and just been taking more profits as we pump. Now, let's talk about the most important scenarios. Now, we are pretty much bullish on the lower time frames. Are we topping out? Are we going to roll over? Let's talk about the higher time frame levels of resistance and support and what could happen really, right? What could we see as the highest probability moves? And that is what we really want to detect. First of all, we'll be zooming out on the daily chart because here is what I am going to explain the major levels that we do have as resistance and support, guys. Now, for anybody that is interested in trading, remember that on Bybit, you do get a $500 position for free just by signing up with the link down below, guys. You can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Pepe. There is multiple different cryptos here to trade with that $500 free airdrop, guys. You just need to sign up with the link down below. Bybit, my #1 crypto platform. Now, of course, if you cannot trade on Bybit because of any restrictions, you do have bluffing, which is a no KYC, and you do get 10% cash back on your initial deposit, so you can use for your trading as well. Let's dive in here right away, guys. I'm going to keep it relatively simple. Looking at the higher time frame levels of resistance, we did hit that daily level just slightly below $58,000. As you can see, getting that reaction yesterday as we were pumping to that level. So that daily close and open that we had from the 4th and 5th of September, getting that nice little quick pullback of over $1,000 throughout the last few hours. Now, I do believe that this is quite bullish, that these retracements will likely form another higher low, and we're going to have an attempt in going to higher levels. So we're going to talk about the local levels of support, what I want to see for the next long. We want to follow the momentum, but also what if the price does continue to the upside on higher time frame? The strongest level of resistance is sitting at $59,100. Why? Because we have a daily level. We know what happens with daily levels. They do get that reaction, okay? Potentially a large pullback or maybe sideways momentum. If we do see that sideways momentum and start continuing to form higher lows into the level, then obviously it could be broken. But the resistance zone is there, 59,100, where we also see naked point of control. That is a point of control that we had from the price action created on the 3rd of September. So that level is extremely important. This zone right over here, 59,100. When we zoom out slightly here and take a look at the price action in between August and September, and we get a fixed volume profile to analyze where is the highest volume node, well, it's really right over there, as you can see, 59,100 range. When we do take a look at Fibonacci from the highs of August, which is at 65K to the lows, we do have the 50% Fibonacci, which is slightly below that point of control. Now, this is a zone without a doubt where I would expect a reaction and a rejection. The question is, could we manage to just punch through and hit 59,700 as we do have that lower high right over here? I would consider this point of control, okay, and the daily level for a kind of a swing failure pattern. So get that rejection from that level. It might retest it again, maybe successfully breaking out or forming that double top scenario. So without a doubt, this is a zone where the price is going to start dancing around. Now, the question is, as we dance around at that level, will it manage to break through after the first attempt, or will it get a much larger pullback, okay? So we can profit. Nevertheless, we can profit even though if it's a move of a few $100s, guys, being a fast trader, getting into the execution very, very quickly to make those quick little profits. As we do know, it is a big level of resistance, daily level, point of control between August and September. It is a good high confluence zone to get the rejection. And when we do zoom into the lower time frames and analyze the waves here to the upside, because yesterday we were talking about the possibility of creating a double 1-2 right there because we should be inside of a third wave. When we come to this conclusion and analyze this scenario, well, we can see that we are still potentially inside of that third wave. And you may ask why? Well, when we analyze the possible second 1-2, which happened very, very nicely, we got the third wave being very explosive, right? Third wave being the most explosive most of the times. When we do see this, it looks like that we need to form one more wave to the upside, even though if we do claim these lows or not, are we going to bounce from here? This is where I want to talk about what I'm looking at next for my next trading setup. So the question is, will we form another low or will we push through to claim the highs from yesterday and then get the proper rejection and then form the next fifth wave that should be getting us above $59,000, right? So let's analyze the local scenarios on lower time frame, right? I do believe that we are still inside of the fourth wave. Now, what we want to see here is either bounce all the way up to those highs above $58,100 and get that breakthrough. Potentially, it could form a failed auction or a kind of a double top scenario, a wick, and then a larger corrective move. Main reason why, because we've already formed 5 waves if we were to hit that high from yesterday, meaning that we could be seeing a larger pullback before continuing to the upside. Very important to understand exactly on what waves we are in right now and what are the different scenarios. So if we were to get that pullback all the way down to today's lows, which I think is very possible, and the main reason why I think is possible because I don't see this as a 3-wave corrective structure. It would be very shallow. The C wave would be the smallest, so it doesn't make any sense right over here. However, it is possible, I have to say, because when we do take a look at the third impulsive wave from that wave that we were speculating on yesterday, right, the third big breakout, when we take a look at the low created and the high, we can see that we've tapped to perfection that 50% Fibonacci retracement. When we do take a look at the session volume profile, we can see it is also the previous day value area high, where we have that high volume node from that consolidation that we had at 65,500. So that is providing good support. Previous day value area high, the 50% Fibonacci, which is common for a wave 4. 618 is not usually common, okay, especially if the 618 is very close to the wave 1. So now the question is, what if we do roll down from here? Because we are forming some bearish CVD divergence. We're having a lot of people longing right over here. We're forming the lower highs on the price action and higher highs on the CVD on all of the exchanges, right? So we are getting bearish CVD divergence. So could there be a possibility that we're rolling down and testing the lows right over here? Absolutely, yes, it is possible. And we want to be ready for that scenario. So when we do zoom in, what if this is still a 3-wave structure in an ABC, right? That we are going to have an attempt in breaking out here, but fail and get back above the lows from today. This is something that I will be paying attention in the next coming hours. That is, if we do not pump already to get above $58,000. I am seeing that as a possibility. All right, we might be already pumping above $58,000. So if you're not already in that long position from lower, long in right now in the middle of this area, we need to realize that this could be a 3-wave corrective structure. So long in here, there is some danger in my opinion, even though the price could punch to the upside. So if we do move down and we lose today's lows and the previous day value area high, what I would want to see here to confirm that this is part of the corrective structure and we should be forming that wave to the upside is a reclaim of today's lows, reclaim of the previous day value area low. So get the movement down. We do not know if this is just going to break through and drop several $1,000s in a matter of a few hours. That is possible. So it's extremely important to see the fake out of today's lows, reclaim it, so then we can have the possibility to get a great entry, stop loss below the low, okay, give or take a bit of room, and speculating that we could get back above $58,000. So just looking at the previous day value area high, today's lows, realizing that we could form a three-wave structure here inside of this fourth wave, because when we do analyze the movement down that we've had in between yesterday and today, it does look very one-wavy, right? Very just an A wave right there. Yes, you could say that this has been a A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. It could be possible as we've already hit the 50% Fibonacci. So without a doubt, I do see, your best entry point would have been right over here at the 50% Fibonacci. It's a classic wave 4. You don't usually overlap the 50% Fibonacci much more than 50%. It is the previous day value area high, and that was the best entry to enter. Of course, we do have some of the coaches already talking about that entry, all right, in the Legends trading community, right? Talking about the different possibilities of, maybe this has been the end of the wave. 618 Fibonacci, we're possibly going to get that resistance. But overall, looking for that wave 4, we got the previous day value area high, looking for that punch. So overall, for a long trade, that would have been your best entry right over here. Now, we want to be defensive. We want to analyze the situation, because just realizing about the bearish CVD divergence, that the price could flip very, very soon. So if we do claim that low, keeping it very simple, what I want to see is a reclaim from that level to then look for the next push to the upside to claim yesterday's highs. Not much more locally. If we break down very aggressively, I would really be patient to see a range formation and proof of support. But if we start overlapping this wave 1 from yesterday, it ain't going to be looking too great. So if we break down from the lows of today, guys, this for me will be no trading zone. I'm aware of the price collapsing. I'm also aware of the price, getting that test of the lows based on bearish CVDs, and that would be where I'm interested for the next long setup in a nutshell. Not much more has to be said. Zooming out, okay, we do have the possibility of continuing to the upside. This does look pretty damn bullish. It does look like the higher levels is very, very likely, purely based on the bullish momentum that we have here. And we have broken the bearish structure from the last few days. We can see here the lower highs and lower lows, the last lower high being this one at the $57,000 range. We already formed a higher high here locally. So everything is pointing out that, despite a corrective move that could happen, we could definitely see higher levels in the next coming days. Most important level of resistance, of course, we do have yesterday's highs, where it could create a failed auction, swing failure pattern, right? Double top scenario. And then obviously the strongest one that we do have throughout the last few weeks is $59,100. We've got naked point of control, the point of control in between August and September, a daily level, and that is the zone where I would expect the price to react and get some pullbacks from that level. Not much more has to be said in this episode, guys. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.